It has been windy all day today. Anyway, if you all saw the last video, we were in Spectre, where they filmed Big Fish. And today, you guys, we are out here in Montgomery, Alabama. And we are here at the grave of the late, great Hank Williams. Now, if you are a fan of country music, then you probably know who this legend is. Honky tonkin', there's a tear in my beer. I saw the light. I mean, this man wrote quite a few. He was born September 17th, 1923, and he died on a back road in West Virginia in 1953. He had heart failure, sadly. They couldn't get him to a hospital in time, which is really sad. But anyway, we're starting out this vlog up here, and we're going to a French fort known as Fort Toulouse, which is about 25 minutes away. But I figured, since we are here in Montgomery, we will pay our respects to this country legend. I mean, it's really beautiful. 1923 to 1953, he was 29 years old. I mean, this is beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I've often heard stories about people coming to his grave, and I mean, this is a really beautiful sight. Thank you, sir. Please do not desecrate this sacred spot. Many thanks, Hank Williams Jr. Now, I'm a bit more of a Hank Williams Jr. fan. I like Hank Williams Jr., but I also do like the old country stuff that was Hank Williams. And of course, we have Audrey Shepard Williams. If you all know the story, she and Hank Williams Sr.'s mother, they competed to get Hank on the right track. And obviously, her perseverance really pushed through, because we had an amazing country music legend. Anyway, now I'm so happy, no sorrow in sight. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Of course, you know, they've got these really beautiful spots. I mean, this is a really beautiful grave. Really just a place to just sit and think, you know, and meditate. Really the best way of putting it. Look how that is. That's really cool how Hank Williams has his hat engraved in the concrete, just up here on a lonely little hill. Well, maybe not so much lonely, in Montgomery, Alabama. So anyway, you guys, let's head down to Fort Toulouse, a French fort that was here in the territory before the United States ever came to be. Plus, it's a little bit cheaper too. We have finally made it. And just a little bit of information about Fort Toulouse. Fort Toulouse was a French fort constructed during, I want to say, the French and Indian Wars, 1751, in this area. Now, in this area as well, you have Fort Jackson, which is from 1814. It is a partially restored fort. There are also recreations of Creek Indian houses, because the Creek Nation was in this area. And there is also a 1,000-year-old Indian mound out here. Probably sounds like it's around Mississippian or Woodland period. But anyway, guys, we're going to go into the visitor center, and then we're going to check out the fort. We're going to check out what else is out here. This should be fun. By the way, it was kind of solemn over at Hank Williams' grave. Oh, this is pretty nice. Looks like it's an older building. Turn. Oh, that way. Well, that was simple. Oh, this is cool. Okay, this is really interesting. The visitor center, this house, this is the Graves house, and it was built by the son of a Revolutionary War veteran between 1825 and 1830. This is really cool. I'm glad that we came out here. Got some old maps of the state, kind of showing what it used to be way back when. Let me see. There's the Cherokee territory, where the Cherokee Nation was. I'm not sure. It looks like these are all different type of counties. Okay, well, let's see what else they have here. Map of New France, $1. French outpost of the Alabamas on the Coosa. Looks like we've got some information about the Creek Nation. That's a pretty interesting little flag right there. We got a Fort Toulouse badge for about $2. Huh. That is really colorful. Oh, nice. And they've got rabbit skin. I had some of this a while back. Looks like you can buy it for $5. And a mob hat for $5. And white rabbit skin for $5. Except the hat's not $5, it's $16. That's a cool cup too. And where would the visitor center be without the t-shirts? Fort Toulouse, Fort Jackson Park. Looks like there is another room right over here, so check that out. Fort Toulouse Tricentennial, Alabama Bicentennial Project. That's neat. Okay, this will give us an idea. Oh, this is Fort Jackson. This is the recreation of the fort from 1814. This model here is a 1/87th scale reconstruction of Fort Jackson. The fort was built by the United States Forces under Andrew Jackson in 1814. The walls were 7 feet high, picketed, and surrounded by a moat. Together, they created a 15-foot barrier to infantry attackers and served as a strong defense against artillery. The addition of the sharpened stakes or phrases provided a complex for defense. So you did not want to mess with Andrew Jackson at the time. That could get very nasty. Behind there we have ourselves a fireplace. Looks like it hasn't been used in a while. And we have an old map of the Native American nations. You got the Cherokee up there on the top, and at the lower creek you got the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, and the upper creek. Very interesting times back then. And here's a map of some of the other stuff that we'll be seeing today. We are here at the visitor center, and where we'll be going to next is Fort Toulouse, the replica. But if you're curious, this area is where Fort Toulouse from 1717 to 1735 was. Fort Toulouse the second, 1735 to 1751, and 1751 to 1763. So actually it sounds like it's kind of like right around the French and Indian Wars, and not really just before the Revolutionary War, but maybe a few years beforehand. And they also have a 1,000-year-old Indian mound. So I'm excited. Let's get out there, you guys. Looks like they've been working on the buildings. Looks like it. Yeah, that's the entrance. It might not be.
Not that way. Turn around.
Huh. Well, I wonder where the... I don't know, Isaiah. It looks like you can go this way. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Regardless, we are now in Fort Toulouse, or the replica of Fort Toulouse. This is cool. Imagine guys with their big guns, the soldiers, French soldiers, were running up the garrison and watching out for enemy forces. Although this is the replica, so it never really saw any war. I imagine it probably saw some ammunition stuff, or like for actors and recreations and whatnot. Of course, there's where we just now came from. And if y'all are curious, this is where the creek houses are, just over on the other end. Oh, this is cool. Although I've said that a lot on this trip so far. Kind of feels like Fort Toulouse is a bit smaller. Like, it's not as big as Fort Loudon in Loudon, Tennessee. Because Loudon, I don't know if you've seen my videos on it, but it is a relatively large like space. But Fort Loudon, I think what probably makes it so much larger is it was built from the original blueprints on what the fort looked like from the foundation upwards. Looks like this used to be a building. Like, honestly, of course, you've got those, you've got the chimneys. So yeah, either this is a house or the foundation of the house. Hey Isaiah, what'd you find? Okay, I guess we'll see what he's found. Yeah, I don't really know the history. I mean, maybe this is a building that either caught fire or one that they're working on. And it looks like this is the original, like the actual entrance to Fort Toulouse, or the replica of Fort Toulouse, not where we just came from. You know, the wind really kind of helps the environment. Like almost nothing is here, just quietness. So my best friend, what he found, this is the commandant's quarters. I should say the commander's quarters. Look at this blacksmith work. I want to get back into blacksmithing. Oh, and that's neat. They built it exactly to replica what it would have been. Like, you've got the wood, like the sticks. I mean, that's not real, or what it would be for the time period. But you've got a lot of French influence. Like, I believe this, I want to say it's like some kind of dung or something like that. Horse hair or deer hair. And it keeps the insulation going in the building itself. I may have explained that right. Then again, I may have not. I don't know. In the comments below, you guys, let me know. As I do have a few friends that know their building history and, like, well, military history. Looks like this used to be where a fire was. Maybe for historical interpretation. And I want to say this goes up somewhere. Well, not really. It definitely has an old building smell, though. Doesn't look really like there's really anything in there. Yeah, Isaiah?
You want to go up there?
Nah. Well, we got done checking that out, so let's check out the actual barracks. Feels kind of weird. It's like Fort Loudon. We are the only ones in this entire fort. Looks like you could sleep there. Again, way back when in the day, before, well, anyway, what I'm trying to say is people were way shorter back then. Looks like this just goes up to another attic space. So anyway, thanks for showing me that, bro.
Welcome.
Okay, let's check this out over here. During the season, like the operating season, like the actual season, they make bread in this. But obviously, it's of no use right now. Like they have like a spot where they pour out the coals, or maybe not so much the coals, but maybe a fire in its own right. Let's go over here. Let's see what they have over here at the other set of barracks, or not barracks, but the other garrison. I think the word would be garrison. Like where they would keep watch and man their stations for any like British force or Cherokee force. Because the Cherokee aligned themselves with the British nation during the French and Indian War. Of course, even then, I mean, relations between the Cherokee and the British soured for a time. Oh, that's cool. I wonder what it's like to watch this thing go off. I bet it's cool. It's loud. It goes boom, boom. Granted, obviously, they just put shells in there. Well, when I say shells, they put blanks in there. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just so quiet out here. I think that's the main thing that I'm getting from here right now. Yeah, so I guess now, you guys, let's check out the Creek Indian houses, and I think from there we'll check out Fort Jackson, which there's not really much there but the foundation. Either or, I mean, it's pretty darn cool. And we'll go check out the Indian Mound. The next vlog, you guys, if you are like a fan of like social media and the news, you all will like the next video. It's pretty hilarious. It only makes you wonder what life was like way back when.
Sucked.
Yeah, I mean,
It was hard though.
You gotta think, I mean, the average life expectancy back then was what, like?
Probably 30, maybe up to 40.
Yeah, I think like 50.
50, like a story.
Yeah, I mean 50. I mean, I imagine that's old age. Oh, there it is. Although, if you do read historical accounts, people did live to be 100 back then. But usually, those records could get pretty spotty. By the way, we've made it. Kind of reminds me of the Cherokee buildings that they have at Fort Loudon. Although, I think they only have one of those. And even though these are replicas, Isaiah, they are built like they would have been built many, many years ago. I believe these would be like this is, I don't think this would be a council house. I believe it would be a house where probably people would stay, because I know, like with the Cherokee, they had their council houses, and they were similar to this. They would sit around the fire, but I don't know too much about the Creek Nation, how they practice that. Huh. That is a cool little house, though. Okay, let's see what they got in the other ones. Oh yeah, so actually, I think this would be a council house where they would have council meetings. Isaiah's tall. This is kind of eerie that we came here at this time, because Well, I guess we didn't get to go to a ghost town, but this feels like a ghost town. Yes, you guys, the ghost town of Cahaba. It is closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. On my birthday, of all things. Actually, as of the recording this video, it is at my actual birthday, March 5th. Ow! Ah!
That got hurt.
Yes, it did. You suck. That hurt. My head hurts. And Isaiah laughed at my pain. But it looks like this is a room where maybe like a summer house. Where you'd sleep. I don't trust the... I feel like if my fat self got on that, that would end very badly. It's still really cool though. Look at how... Actually, no, that's... Well, no, I was gonna say, that's not real bark.
Movie magic?
It looks like real movie magic. Look at it. There's plastic underneath that. They lie. Look.
Big,
Look, it's plastic. It's plastic. They lie.
Big fat phonies.
Phonies.
Big slut.
Well, I mean, it looks mostly right. This is really awesome. But now we are going to go find the site of Fort Jackson. Then we're going to go see the Indian Mound. By that time, this park will have closed.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, shut up. As we are walking, I believe, well actually it says it on the map, but there is a cemetery out here. But it looks like there's only one grave out here.
I think it's progress, huh?
Let me see.
Done there by living.
Let me see.
Well, he didn't die. They moved his body over here.
Oh. In memory of John Louis Colin Fontenelle, Sergeant of the French Colonial Marines, served at Fort Toulouse 1730 to 1755, born on December 18th, 1686 in Poitiers, France. Died on October 29th, 1755 at Fort Toulouse. Progenitor of all Fontenautes in North America, donated by his living descendants in 1998. So I don't think this is the cemetery. I think it's a historical marker. But in a way, it is kind of, well, not really close, but that explains a little bit more history about this area. And we have finally made it. Let's see what this says. Here stood Fort Toulouse, a defense against Indians built by Bienville 1714. The Alabama Society of Colonial Dames preserves the memory of faithful service, 1912. So as you all saw in the Welcome Center, the actual fort was built in the early 1700s, but you had the second and the third being built in 1751. But that is some interesting history, especially they have it out here out in front of Fort Jackson. And interestingly enough, Fort Jackson is actually, part of it is actually built on the first fort, right off to the way of the Coosa River. Stood the touting of Andrew Jackson Monument, General Andrew Jackson, who marched on March 27th, 1814. And this is where the Creek, or when the Creek War ended, this is where they signed the treaty. There's really not a whole lot out here, but the foundation, that still is. One of the cool things about this fort is they had like protruding stakes built into the side of the wall that so when you had like enemies try to come through, well, let's just say you're not really getting anywhere. I mean, obviously looks like they've even cut it to some extent. Oh, ignore him. As you all can tell, my best friend has a sense of humor. So this is everything that remains of Fort Jackson. Not really a whole lot, but that's what they said at the visitor center. There's not a whole lot here. But you do get the foundation of what it used to look like. I want to say, if you look at it like on a map, I want to say that this was the entrance, or almost the entrance. So you have the garrison pole, or where the garrison flag would be. Granted, I imagine a lot of this is more modernized. Yeah. And there's the Coosa River. But yeah, this is the only thing that's really left of this fort. And it's really cool that they have a fort, or two forts, well technically 4 in one spot. But you know what? Maybe if parks like this had more funding, you know, it would be cool to see one of these rebuilt. Looks like there's a house right there. Kind of looks like a historical interpreter's house.
This one's maybe actually real.
Maybe.
I don't see rubber.
Yeah, it's got a wooden roof. Yes, that's kind of phony that the Creek Indian houses had plastic. I guess that's closed, so we can't really go in there. There's really nothing here. It's cool that at least they have historical markers to pinpoint where everything happened. Yeah, I'd say that we're not getting in that today because it's locked. If you look at it, you guys, where Isaiah's standing, you have that point over there, that where we just came from, and then you have this point, which for the most part, it's all just it's supposed to be where a moat would be, but obviously not really. Makes you wish you could just go back in time. So now let's go check out the Indian mound. Wait, what did you say? Oh, that bird?
A falcon.
Oh, there's a hawk. See this, you guys? This is why you bring friends on your journeys. Get randomly stopped by a hawk. The lady at the front desk in the visitor center said it was a mile to see this mound, but honestly,
It's not a mile, is it? Yet?
I mean, it doesn't feel like a mile. But yeah, this is the mound. The entire earthen mound and an adjacent village were built by people of the Mississippian culture who likely had some relationship to the major mound center at Moundville near present-day Tuscaloosa. The Mississippian culture was believed to have originated in the Mississippi River Valley near the end of the first millennia, circa 1050, and continued as the dominant culture of the southeast until the time of European exploration and settlement. This site sits at a strategic location near the Coosa and Tallapoosa rivers, joined to form the Alabama River. The inhabitants of the village could control all movement of people and goods up and down the rivers, thereby enabling economic and political control as well as cultural influence over a massive area. That is all very interesting, and this kind of shows you what the area looked like. I mean, this is the mound, like through all the brush and whatnot. That's the mound itself, but around in this area where Isaiah's standing, this was the village. And this is how it probably would have appeared about 500 to 600 years ago. This kind of shows you what other Indian mounds are in this area, and we are right here. It's been an interesting drive. So hidden here amongst the brush is the Indian mound of the Mississippian people. Pretty cool that they chose to put this mound right next to the river. Now, I'm not going to get on the mound just because I respect Native American history and cultural sites. If you all have seen my Native American Heritage Month series that I do, instead of doing stuff like Thanksgiving, I talk about the first people who lived in this area, or lived in these areas. So you guys, this is the mound. This mound is about 1,000 years old. Were you the one making that noise?
Maybe. What?
I don't know. Was that a cat?
That?
Yeah. I could have sworn I heard a cat.
I didn't do the cat. I didn't. Ow.
Okay, that is just a tad weird. Alrighty, you guys. This is going to be another vlog for another day. We started at the Hank Williams Senior site, and Isaiah's doing that. Anyway, he likes to have his fun. That's why we've been best friends for the last 15 years, I guess. 15 or 20. We're like a married couple at this point. But anyway, you guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Always means a lot. Goes to show that y'all care and that y'all want to see more awesome videos like this. So without further ado, you guys, this vlog is over. See y'all in the next one.